Climb to the Top by Tyler Andrew is not just a book about success, it's a blueprint for conquering life's toughest mountains. With raw wisdom and inspiring lessons, Andrew takes us on a journey of resilience, discipline, and ambition. This book reveals what it truly takes to rise above fear, doubt, and setbacks, and to reach the summit of your own potential. It's a call to action for anyone ready to stop standing at the bottom and start climbing toward greatness. Chapter 1: The Call to Climb. Every journey begins with a whisper, a subtle yet persistent voice calling us towards something greater. In Climb to the Top, Tyler Andrew begins by describing the universal longing inside every person, the desire to rise. We are all born with a seed of ambition, a dream that whispers, "There is more for you beyond where you stand." Yet most people ignore that call, settling for the comfort of the valley rather than risking the unknown of the mountain. Andrew challenges this mindset from the start. He insists that greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It is a choice available to anyone willing to take the first step. The first chapter is a wake-up call. It forces us to ask, are we content with mediocrity, or do we dare to answer the call to climb? He reminds us that fear is loudest at the beginning, but the first step upward breaks its hold. Chapter 2: Preparing for the Ascent. No climber reaches the summit without preparation. In this chapter, Andrew draws a powerful parallel between mountaineers and life's achievers. Before climbing, they gather tools, strengthen their bodies, and study the terrain. In life, we must do the same. Preparation means building mental resilience, cultivating discipline, and clarifying our vision. Andrew emphasizes that clarity is the compass of the climb. Without knowing where you want to go, every step becomes wasted effort. He also explores the importance of inner dialogue, training your thoughts to align with your goals. Self-doubt, he warns, is the heaviest baggage you can carry. To prepare is not only to sharpen your skills, but also to lighten your load by letting go of excuses. Preparation doesn't guarantee that the climb will be easy, but it ensures that when storms come, you will not crumble. Chapter 3: The First Step Forward. The hardest step in any journey is the first. This chapter is about action. Andrew explains how so many dreams die at the edge of hesitation. We imagine the climb, talk about it, even plan for it, but never actually move. He urges readers to understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but movement despite it. The first step is proof to yourself that you are capable. It may be small, but it sets momentum in motion. Andrew uses stories of individuals who transformed their lives simply by taking that one step, writing the first page of a book, making the first phone call, starting the first workout. He insists that success is built not on giant leaps, but on consistent steps that follow one another. The mountain may look impossible when seen from the bottom, but the moment you begin climbing, the summit becomes real. Chapter 4: The Storms on the Path. Every climb encounters storms. Andrew devotes this chapter to the obstacles that inevitably appear: setbacks, failures, criticism, and even betrayal. He explains that storms are not signs to turn back, but tests to refine us. When winds howl and paths grow slippery, only those with strong roots in their purpose will endure. Andrew describes failure not as an end, but as a teacher. Each fall is a lesson in strength. He also warns about internal storms, doubt, fear, and the temptation to quit. These inner battles are often fiercer than external challenges, yet storms also reveal resilience we never knew we had. The mountain doesn't bend for us. We must grow strong enough to endure it. Andrew reminds us that the storms don't last forever, but the lessons they teach can carry us to higher ground. Chapter 5: The Power of Persistence. If preparation is the foundation and the first step is the spark, Persistence is the fire that keeps the climb alive. This chapter is all about endurance. Andrew insists that persistence is the single most underrated key to success. Talent may open doors, intelligence may provide strategies, but persistence is what keeps you moving when everything else says stop. He shares powerful stories of climbers who pushed beyond exhaustion and entrepreneurs who succeeded after countless failures, proving that the summit belongs to those who refuse to quit. Andrew also explains that persistence is not blind effort. It is the intelligent decision to keep going while adjusting strategies. He frames persistence as an act of faith, faith in yourself, in your vision, and in the possibility of reaching the top even when you cannot yet see it. The mountain, he says, always rewards the climber who refuses to turn back. Chapter 6. The Weight of Sacrifice. Every climb requires sacrifice. Andrew begins this chapter by pointing out an uncomfortable truth. You cannot rise without leaving something behind. Whether it's time, comfort, habits, or even relationships, sacrifice is the price of the summit. He explains that those who cling to comfort zones never ascend. They remain stuck at the base of the mountain, dreaming but never daring. Andrew makes it clear that sacrifice is not punishment, it is investment. To climb is to trade the temporary for the eternal, to exchange immediate gratification for lasting fulfillment. He highlights how true climbers learn to embrace sacrifice as a friend, because every ounce of comfort given up lightens the journey upward. Chapter 7. The Role of Discipline. If sacrifice clears the path, discipline keeps your feet steady on it. Andrew devotes this chapter to the quiet power of discipline, the ability to do what must be done even when you don't feel like doing it. He compares discipline to the ropes and anchors of a climber. Without them, every step becomes dangerous. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't shine like talent or charm. Yet it is the invisible force that carries climbers through long stretches of monotony, cold, and exhaustion. Andrew emphasizes daily habits, routines, and consistency. He argues that discipline is freedom. When you master yourself, no obstacle can truly control you. The mountain respects those who practice discipline because they are prepared for its tests. Chapter 8. Finding Strength in Failure. Failure is inevitable on the journey upward, but Andrew reframes it as fuel for success. He explains that climbers who fear falling never leave the ground. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of the path to it. This chapter explores how to harness the lessons of failure to gain wisdom and resilience. Andrew uses vivid stories of inventors, athletes, and leaders who turned their biggest defeats into turning points. He writes that failure strips us of ego and teaches humility, reminding us that growth is always greater than comfort. True climbers wear their scars as proof of survival. The mountain doesn't demand perfection, it demands perseverance. Failure is simply the echo of progress, a sign that you are climbing higher than before. Chapter 9. The Importance of Mentors and Guides. No one climbs to the top alone. In this chapter, Andrew emphasizes the role of mentors, teachers, and guides who illuminate the path ahead. He compares mentors to Sherpas, experienced climbers who know the terrain, the dangers, and the shortcuts. Their wisdom prevents unnecessary mistakes and accelerates progress. Andrew warns against the illusion of independence, arguing that pride often keeps people from seeking help, and that isolation is one of the deadliest traps on the mountain. He encourages readers to surround themselves with people who have already climbed their own peaks because their stories and guidance can provide light in the darkest valleys. Mentors do not climb for you, but they equip you with tools and courage to climb higher. Chapter 10. The Summit. Within this chapter marks a turning point in the journey. Andrew reveals that the ultimate summit is not a place outside of us, but a transformation within us. The climb is less about reaching the physical top and more about becoming the kind of person capable of standing there. He describes the inner summit as self-mastery, resilience, and the discovery of authentic purpose. Many who chase external success without inner growth find the view at the top empty. But those who climb with intention, who battle storms and embrace sacrifice, discover a deeper truth. The journey changes them more than the destination. The summit within is where fear loses its grip, where self-doubt turns into strength, and where the climber finally realizes that the mountain was never the enemy, it was the teacher. Chapter 11. Conquering the Mind's Mountains. Before any physical climb, the greatest mountain is in the mind. Andrew explains that most people are defeated not by the size of the challenge, but by the size of their doubts. The mind whispers lies. You are not strong enough. You are not worthy. You will fail. In this chapter, he teaches how to reframe those inner voices, turning doubt into fuel. The mountain inside is climbed through self-belief, visualization, and positive inner dialogue. Andrew shares methods used by athletes and leaders who win by mastering their minds first. He insists that the summit is unreachable for anyone who loses the inner battle. To climb to the top, you must first silence the storm in your head. Chapter 12. The Valley Before the Peak. Andrew describes the strange paradox of climbing. Just before the summit, there is often a valley. This chapter is about the lowest points that appear right before breakthroughs. Many give up at this stage, mistaking the valley for defeat, when in fact it is preparation for elevation. Andrew explains that valleys build endurance and sharpen perspective. He recalls stories of climbers, entrepreneurs, and visionaries who nearly quit on the edge of their greatest success. The valley teaches patience and faith. It reminds us that the journey is not about speed, but persistence. The valley is not the end. It is the threshold of transformation. Chapter 13. The Courage to Stand Alone. Every climber faces moments of solitude. Andrew highlights how true strength is revealed when no one else believes in your climb. In this chapter, he addresses the loneliness of vision, the fact that others may not understand your dream, may even criticize or discourage you. Courage is tested most when the voices of doubt come not from within, but from those around you. Andrew urges readers to cultivate inner conviction so strong that outside noise cannot derail them. Standing alone does not mean rejecting others. It means refusing to abandon your path just because others cannot see the summit you see. To climb to the top, you must sometimes walk stretches of the mountain in silence, with only your determination as your companion. Chapter 14. The View from the Edge. This chapter captures the beauty and terror of nearing the summit. Andrew explains that as climbers approach the top, the air becomes thinner, the challenge is more intense, and the fear of falling greater than ever. Yet the view from the edge reveals how far you've already come. He emphasizes gratitude, taking moments to pause and acknowledge progress, rather than obsessing only about how far is left to go. Gratitude transforms exhaustion into energy, reminding you why you began the climb in the first place. The edge is where you see the balance of struggle and triumph, where you realize the climb itself has given you treasures more valuable than the summit. Chapter 15. Rising into Greatness. In this chapter, Andrew ties together the essence of the climb. Rising into greatness is not about being above others, but about becoming the best version of yourself. The summit represents clarity, strength, and purpose forged in the fires of struggle. Andrew explains that greatness is not a one-time achievement. It is a lifestyle of continued growth, humility, and resilience. He urges climbers not to stop at one peak, but to keep seeking higher ground in life, because each summit reached reveals another mountain waiting to be conquered. True greatness is not measured by trophies or applause, but by the strength of character built along the way. The climb never truly ends. It transforms you into someone who is always ready for the next ascent. Chapter 16. The Power of Endurance. Andrew begins this chapter by reminding us that greatness is rarely about talent alone. It is endurance that separates dreamers from achievers. The climb grows harder near the summit. Winds stronger, air thinner, doubts louder. Yet the climber who endures discovers that pain does not last forever, but pride does. Andrew shares stories of leaders and pioneers who succeeded not because they were the strongest, but because they refused to stop moving forward. Endurance, he writes, is a choice made every day, one step at a time, no matter how small the step. Chapter 17. The Summit. Within here, Andrew turns the focus inward once more. He argues that many who reach the physical summit realize the mountain was never about the peak outside, but the summit inside. The climb reveals inner strength, discipline, courage, and wisdom that were hidden before. Success, then, is not about reaching the highest point in the world, but discovering the highest point within yourself. This chapter emphasizes self-mastery, knowing your values, living your principles, and refusing to compromise your integrity. The summit within is what gives meaning to the summit without. Chapter 18. The responsibility of the peak. Reaching the top does not mark the end of responsibility, it marks the beginning. Andrew explains that those who climb to the summit are watched by others. Their victory becomes a beacon. With success comes responsibility to guide, to inspire, and to help others on their journeys. In this chapter, Andrew encourages humility at the peak, never using success as a pedestal, but as a platform to serve. The higher you climb, the more you must lift others. True leadership, he insists, is not standing alone at the top, but reaching back to help another climber ascend. Chapter 19. Beyond the Mountain. Andrew broadens the vision here. The summit is not the final destination, but a beginning. Once one mountain is climbed, life presents another. The challenge is to remain hungry, curious, and humble enough to keep climbing. Success can easily turn into complacency, but Andrew warns against this trap. Growth, he argues, is a lifelong journey. The best climbers know that each summit reached is just a doorway to a new horizon. To climb to the top is not to finish, but to continually rise. Chapter 20. Living at the Summit. The final chapter is about transforming the climb into a way of life. Andrew teaches that living at the summit means carrying the lessons of the mountain into daily life, discipline, courage, gratitude, service, and perseverance. The summit is not a place you stand forever. It is a perspective you carry within you. To live at the summit is to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to face life with resilience and to inspire others by your example. Andrew closes by urging readers to climb not only for themselves, but for the legacy they will leave behind. Conclusion. The endless climb. Tyler Andrew ends his work with a simple yet profound truth. The climb never ends. Every peak reveals a new mountain. Every summit unveils a greater horizon. Success is not about arriving, but about becoming stronger, wiser, and more purposeful with each step. The mountain is life itself, and to climb to the top is to embrace the journey with courage and faith. The summit is not the goal. Transformation is.